If there's one thing we can be sure of, it's that the Pig family will never be the same once Peppa's new little brother is born.
Ooh!
Can you imagine what kind of changes are coming? Peppa and George have always been used to getting all of their parents' attention, but that's one of the first things that's going to change once the new family member arrives, because he's going to need pretty much all of Mummy and Daddy Pig's attention. Babies always need a lot of care. Only someone really paying attention knows when they're hungry, when they want to play, or when they need the bathroom. Just kidding. Everyone knows they just go in their diapers, and let's be honest, no one around will be able to ignore the stinky smell. But that just shows how parents always need to keep an eye on babies, since they're the ones changing those dirty diapers. In other words, the parents are going to have zero time left for the older kids, and neither Peppa nor George is going to take it well, especially George, who's been the youngest until now and has been totally spoiled. Peppa already knows what it feels like to get less attention, so she might take it a bit better, but she'll still be annoyed since she's pretty spoiled too. This will make both of them feel kind of resentful toward the baby, to the point that they might start throwing passive-aggressive comments his way, which is honestly kind of ridiculous, since the poor little guy won't even know what they're saying. Of course, as time goes on, Peppa and George will eventually get used to it and stop whining, partly because they'll understand it's not the baby's fault, and also because as he gets older, he'll need less constant attention from their parents. But things will never go back to how they were. The entire dynamic of the Pig family will change for good once that little piglet arrives. Nothing will ever be the same again. Don't believe it? Then hop on board, because this is another Cinewave episode coming your way. As we already know, Daddy and Mummy Pig will be super busy taking care of the newest family member, but their attention alone might not be enough. After all, both of them work and still need to do everyday things like clean the house, go grocery shopping, and so on. During those times, the ones who'll have to step in and look after the baby will be his siblings. Yep, Peppa and George will probably end up taking care of their little brother all by themselves in at least one episode after he's born. But let's be honest, it's very likely to happen in lots of episodes from now on. And of course, kids taking care of younger kids equals total chaos. They won't know what to do with the baby's crying, and who knows how they'll handle it. But one thing's for sure, it won't be the recommended way. It's easy to picture an episode where they lose sight of the baby and have to find him before their parents get back. The one who will struggle the most with all of this will be Peppa, since she's the oldest and George still isn't used to being responsible. That'll leave her dealing with two disobedient brothers, when George should be the one helping her. But hey, as they say, if you're not helping, at least don't get in the way. But maybe Peppa and George will get lucky and won't have to take care of the baby. At least not if their parents decide to hire a babysitter to look after the piglet when needed. That would actually be the perfect chance to introduce a new character to the show. The babysitter could be someone we've never seen before, or maybe someone who's only ever been in the background. After all, a lot of Peppa Pig characters were just background extras before they finally got their moment to shine. If the show doesn't want to bring in someone new, Mummy Pig might just hire someone already in the cast. For example, Miss Rabbit. She basically has every job in the world already, so babysitter could easily be one more. Especially since her sister has a bunch of kids, and Miss Rabbit has probably helped out with them a few times. That means she's already got experience looking after little ones. Another great candidate for the role of Super Nanny is Mrs. Cow, since she works as a nurse and a firefighter. So yeah, she's the perfect person to care for a sick baby or stop an accident before it happens. And let's not forget, she apparently doesn't have kids of her own, yet. So maybe babysitting this piglet could even inspire her to become a mom someday. Imagine that! One thing that's definitely going to happen is the introduction of a brand new toy on the show, one that will become the new baby's absolute favorite. Since the first season, Peppa has had her beloved Teddy, and George has had Mr. Dinosaur. So it's pretty likely the new little piglet will follow that same tradition and get an inseparable toy buddy of his own. In fact, we're guessing there'll be a whole episode just about this. It'll probably start with the Pig family heading to a toy store to buy the little guy a gift. Then he'll spot a toy on one of the shelves and fall in love with it instantly. If Peppa is the one who gets to name the toy, it'll probably be something like Bob or just another regular name. But if George has the honor, let's be honest, the toy will most likely be called Mr. Gorilla. And speaking of that, if Peppa has a teddy bear and George has a dinosaur, it makes perfect sense for the baby's toy to be an animal too. Maybe a gorilla, who knows? If you can't wait to meet Peppa's new little brother, drop a comment below with #LittlePiggy. Luckily, Mummy Pig is far from the only mom with kids on the show. Mummy Rabbit will definitely keep having more babies, unless Peppa ends up with 2 or 3 siblings instead of just 1, which would be total chaos for the pigs. Even though the kids have already said they'd actually love it if 8 piglets showed up instead of just 1, believe it or not, Daddy Pig kind of agreed until Mummy Pig gave him that don't even think about it look.
8 babies! 8 babies!
8 babies! 8 babies!
But the truth is, there are a lot of moms in town, and the arrival of a new baby could totally inspire them to start their own club, meeting up once a week to chat, relax, and let their kids run wild together. It would be awesome to see an episode where Mummy Pig takes her kids to the club and hangs out with the other moms while the little ones have fun and make a mess. Something that happens a lot with youngest siblings is that they end up being super spoiled by their parents, who focus all their attention on them while expecting the older kids to just deal with it. Like we said, Peppa and George are definitely going to feel jealous of the baby because Mummy and Daddy Pig will be totally focused on him. But what if that little piglet does end up super spoiled? Then it's a whole different story, and the older siblings' jealousy might actually seem kind of fair. Just imagine having to live with a whiny little brother who cries every time he doesn't get his way and never listens to anyone. That would be rough. But luckily that phase will probably be temporary. After a few episodes of him being a total brat, we'll probably get a story where the baby learns to behave and follows the rules. A nice lesson for all the kids watching the show. At least that's what we're hoping for, because let's be honest, no one wants to sit through 400 episodes of the baby being a little jerk. Even after he stops being spoiled, Peppa's new baby brother will probably still find ways to drive her crazy, like getting totally obsessed with a kids show that she absolutely hates. If you've ever had to live with a toddler, then you know how wild they get when they latch onto a show. They want to watch it all the time and will cry nonstop if they can't. So if the baby gets hooked on a show with loud, repetitive songs, you can bet he'll watch it on a loop, over and over again, without a break. It'll drive Peppa, George, and even the parents completely nuts. But they'll have to just let the piglet watch until he finally gets sick of it. Honestly, a whole episode where the family is just trying to survive until that day comes would be hilarious to watch. Whenever a new baby joins the family, it's totally normal for even the more distant relatives to show up to meet them. After all, welcoming someone new into the family, someone who shares your blood, is always a big and special moment. So it's almost guaranteed we'll get to see a big family reunion with all the pig relatives, including the grandparents, aunts and uncles, and of course Peppa's cousins, Chloe Pig and baby Alexander. It would be so fun to see Alexander meet Peppa's new baby brother, since they're the closest in age among the pigs. Would they get into fights? Or maybe become best friends right away? And hey, are you gonna hit that subscribe button? You'd better, because once you do, you'll start getting all our latest videos about your favorite cartoons. It might not happen right away, but it's only a matter of time before the baby starts going to daycare, someplace where other people can watch him when no one else is available, not even the babysitter. He'll be surrounded by other little ones, like Alexander and Mummy Rabbit's twins. But we're also bound to meet a bunch of new babies we haven't seen yet because daycares are always full. And let's be real, there's no way those are the only babies in town. It's totally possible that in the episode where Peppa's baby brother goes to daycare for the first time, we'll find out that one of the baby animals there actually belongs to a character we already know, someone we had no idea was even a mom. Unlike some family setups where the dad works and the mom stays home with the kids and takes care of the house, both Daddy and Mummy Pig have jobs, and they split the chores like cleaning, cooking, and looking after the kids. He works as an engineer, while she works on a computer. But that dynamic might change a bit with the arrival of the new baby, especially if Mummy Pig decides to leave her job so she can focus completely on him. A newborn needs a lot of attention, especially from their mom. And let's not forget, going through a whole pregnancy is already tough. It's not easy to keep working through all that, so it would make total sense for Mummy Pig to take a break from her career to focus on motherhood. And that also means something else. While Mummy Pig is focusing on the baby, Daddy Pig is going to have to work a lot harder to cover all the new expenses that come with a newborn. If any parents are watching this video, you know exactly what we mean. Taking care of a baby costs a fortune. There's food, diapers, bottles, toys, medicine, and so much more. To afford everything, Daddy Pig will have to go into full-on hustle mode, working overtime every single night. That means he'll be coming home completely exhausted, and you just know that'll lead to some hilarious moment where Peppa tries to wake him up, and he won't even open his eyes no matter what. We've got 2 awesome videos waiting for you on screen right now. If you want to keep the fun going, just click on one of them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.